Hey, how's it going? So, I pulled a couple of cards today. Can I just say, though, like, for the past couple of days, I've been feeling more and more like syrup. Like, either I'm in it or I am syrup. Because I just have not wanted to stop my pace, which has been really relaxed, which is nice. So stuff keeps getting done out of order, which normally would make me all sketchy, but I don't care because it's just all getting done anyway. Alrighty then. So I pulled two cards, and the first one was from the Shaman's what is it? Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. The Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. Uh-oh, it's kind of glary in here. That's why it's so dark. It's like I can't figure out how to make it not have glare in here, so this just feels better on my eyes, and then everything feels better. It's not so bright. Yeah, so the card I pulled was Repairing the Veil, and the subtitle is Forgiveness. It's number 45. And boy, I've been pulling this card a lot. So I was kind of wondering about that. I'm not gonna bother with the guidebook this time because I feel like this is something else going on. So I decided to take some little notes and see what I'm just gonna read it to you. If I caught on to something with my recent observations or conjecture on the veil, have I correctly perceived some of its characteristics? Question mark. As I write this, I'm getting chills, so yes? Wow. Amazement. Let's continue down this way. I feel like the veil is a sentient being or a sensory organ at the very least. It certainly goes from impermeable to, more dense. Or it goes from impermeable to less dense. Souls and divine data gots to come and go. There's got to be some operational mechanism combining form. Oh no, that's from before. I guess that was it. There's got to be some operational mechanism. So, I guess I'm saying it thinks or feels or is somehow like technologically directed to do its thing. Like what's beyond the veil? I don't know. Or be like, babies being born gotta come in the other direction. So, there's gotta be some kind of airlock situation or something. I imagine. So, yeah, it's been busy, right? As far as the traffic is concerned. I'm listening to traffic. Sorry. I'm punning myself. But, there's a lot of people, like, going, and they're not like connected to me personally pretty much at all, so that doesn't mean they don't matter. I just bring it up because I feel like it's got to have effects on people, like the departures, even if they're not traumatic. Like, maybe you notice souls gone from the collective, on a very base level, like almost, you know, you don't even notice it type lowness. But well, I just thought of I'm gonna give props to Sterling Psychic Medium again, because I was watching a show and someone asked if when trees either get their branches pruned or broken off in a storm, or however they come off, you know, without it being like a natural process, do they feel pain? And he, you know, did his thing where he listens for a second and he said, no, they don't feel pain. They feel more like a loss of their overall energy. I mean, I guess it'd be like going from having 4 wheels on the car to 3 when there should be 4. You know, like, I sounded like something like that. So I wonder if the veil is not something similar to that, where it has at least that much consciousness or more, but there was something in between those, and it was, feeling the effects of the people. And so, yeah, like the tree losing the branch, like maybe we're mostly unaware of it except for, you know, the news, but or someone talking about it. But you know, if you're like that disconnected from it, or distant, remote from it, then maybe it's like the tree, like you just are autonomously aware that something is missing, or something is deficit, yeah. So I don't know, just a general sense. And so the other card I pulled was Moth. And I noticed I pull these cards, it seems like a lot, but I also notice on other people doing things like this on YouTube that it happens a lot. So I don't know what, I guess I'm just like, come on, new cards. I want to see something new. Ow, but I do every time, so same thing, shut up. With those thoughts in mind, though, I was looking at this and going, why again? And I was like, what am I missing? And it made me think of the moth in darkness, like complete darkness, unlike the picture, and just being like completely confused, like erased, can't, you know, like no light to go chase after, and you just, maybe it's sudden and you just still, like somebody closing the door on the closet and you're just still in the air, and you're like, your senses are cut off, and maybe so much so that you can't even remember, this is the moth, what you were, even like who you were, what you were thinking about before the lights went out. When you have like a whole thing going on, like whatever a moth's life is, and you know, whatever it did in its moth community, no, it doesn't remember anymore. Now it's just like in the dark, oh my god, panicking, there's no light, where do I go, just flopping around, bumping into stuff, tiring itself out, you know. It's like it needs to find the light. And it made me think of my country, and I'm not going to say the obvious thing that you would think. I mean, I am going to say it, but I'm not going to like leave it at that, which is to say the people that, everybody in this country that doesn't have like can't give a moment to think about like what is actually going on with these people. and not call them every name in the book and ridicule them and so on and so forth. So yes, that contingent of Americans that I mean, I don't disagree with some of what is said about them. Like, I feel like they're extreme, I feel like they're violent, I feel like they're yeah, I mean, yeah, they're dangerous. I at this moment don't feel in danger from them, but you never know. but that was always the case. So, you know, like, so, I mean, just in life, not just with them, although they already were there, you know, in whatever group they were huddled under, whatever flag they're huddled under. So, that's not like new and shocking, but I just think, like, maybe we just like back off of them, not watch what they're doing if they're like trying to commit crimes on people and stuff, but like, geez, give it a rest. And then also, like, the other side, like everybody else, well, no, I mean, I guess that's an unfinished thought that I'm leaping ahead. They are not the only people that are part of, like, that side, you know, conservative, you know, really want to restrict anyone and everybody from doing anything that can be, by their standard, looked at as evil, dirty, wrong, perverted, you name it. I mean, or they will. They'll always come up with something, they. And, but the same situation, it's different, of course, you know, and the degrees are different because of that. But there's also on the other side the kind of same situation going on. Like, there's all these shades of it on both sides, and it's like, my goodness. I feel like at some point, maybe when we're just exhausted and flopping around in the dark and cannot find the way anymore, we run into each other, and instead of becoming something to be afraid of, like, we're already fearful in the dark, like, I'm alone, what's going on, I don't even know what's happening. Remember, they don't remember nothing or anything. They don't remember anything, and they get lost in the fear and all of the things that they are afraid can hurt them, and that works both ways. I think that the right conservative movement, so on and so forth, are just louder. And that, I would think, is something for everyone to think about. Because while that racket's going on, you don't know what the other people are doing, really. Like, they're not out there screaming out their intentions so much. So, I mean, I just wouldn't feel so, like, rough, tough, and smug. You might step into a gopher hole and be like, oh, ow, and broken and out of the fight and vulnerable and helpless and weak. So I would just watch out. I don't know, just a thought. I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm just thinking, like, if it were me. So anyway, I am finding an odd way, an odd route to peace between... There's a lot of people that are just not into it at all. Like, not involved in, like, rah-rah, hoorah, whatever, cheerleading. I'm trying to do it. You can tell I was never a cheerleader. No matter who's cheerleading for whatever side, there's plenty of people that are just like, I'm not really participating in this, so where do I fit in? Which is, I kind of feel like that. But you still have to participate with everything else, because like the Green Party and whatever other third parties there are, if anybody even knows who you are, good luck getting anybody to notice you or listen to what you're saying, take you seriously. Just in that context, that climate, that political sort of thing, and I don't know, our attitudes and our beliefs about each other that are kind of unfounded, because there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise that's made on both sides. I really just don't like that, because it's not as simple as that. It's not as precise as that. It's not precise at all, like any of it. Even that there's sides, like even the sides are all the sides are having unrest with themselves or disinterest. So yay, soup. But still, I feel hopeful because, you know, the moth is finding the light out of the darkness. So that would be like, whoa, they'll try to fly away the collective us. And let's just make that, you know, well, no, I'll stick to the United States. Yes. So, and I just feel like, I mean, it's, for one thing, it's like a cycle that we go through. And for another thing, I think that fewer and fewer people are interested in repeating this over and over. You know, like, eventually, we're going to get tired of flopping around with, like, nowhere to land. So, we're going to work it out. I feel like we will, you know. It's not going to be pretty. I'm not saying that there won't be people that get hurt or even killed, but that's nothing new from every day. From, gee, my whole life. What about you? Lives are, we need to, I feel like lives are more valuable than to just snuff out so easily. And it is like really easy if you got like a temper and a gun and authority, or you feel like you do. And I feel like sometimes people just take advantage of that to say, like, or not say that they just gave in to their true desires. And I don't know, something happens in these situations. But, I don't know, duck. Anyway, I think, do I have anything meaningful to say else? Oh, I guess I do. I wrote some stuff about the moth. I do it on time. Ooh, good on time. Okay. Talked about that. Oh. So I was talking about the moth getting lost, like locked in the closet or whatever. And it followed an enticement and got swallowed up by it. Like swallowed by a whale. Like Jonah in the Bible. And I was supposed to go look about Jonah. Hold on a second, let me look real quick. Okay. Oh, okay, it's going. So, okay, like I looked it up, and I know like that something. I know there's Jonah in the whale. I just don't really remember. I don't remember all of the details, so I knew that like there was something task that he had to do for God or something. But when I looked, I see that. What are you doing? Jonah tried to. Oh, that's kind of a little bit further than I wanted to be. God called to Jonah one day and told him to go preach to Nineveh because the people were very wicked. Jonah hated this idea because Nineveh was one of Israel's greatest enemies, and it was a wicked city, and he didn't want to go preach to those people. So, I'm going to get to something here. Jonah tried to run away from God in the opposite direction of Nineveh and headed by boat to Tarshish. God sent a great storm upon the ship, and the men decided Jonah was to blame, so they threw him overboard. And as soon as they tossed Jonah in the water, the storm stopped. God sent the big fish, some called it a whale, to swallow Jonah and to save him from drowning. Okay, knock him in the water and then save him. That'll teach him. While in the belly of the big fish, Jonah prayed to God for help. Okay, so the city things I didn't remember that, but the other stuff I remember. So it's funny that I'm like talking a lot of biblical stuff lately. Deal with it. But we had written this about people being swallowed up in it. I guess I'm just sort of like free associating or whatever, and the only thing that came to mind was a whale swallowing up the guy, or Jonah, is like an analog to the moth in the closet, and he has like a specific thing, like it's real, like in the story for unbelievers. Hey, I don't know what I believe on this or not. I'll just take it as okay, if it's real, I ain't gonna fight it. But what am I picking that up for? The idea that you've been like thrown into darkness, like when the closet door shuts and you're trapped in there, and you could be just you alone, or you collectively, like I was talking about earlier, like both sides. Maybe not in the same closet, but like kind of symbolically in the same place, like swallowed by darkness, because they're just kind of only seeing things one way, and being really rigid and not considering what the other side it might be talking about, and like trying to find something there to work with, like, and not just giving up because of weird stuff's being said, or like you gotta like kind of reach people where they can be met, and it takes more effort than just calling out what's wrong with them and what they're doing, and belittling basically. And I see it, like I said, it's not just one-sided, let's put it that way. And again, eventually we got to get exhausted with it and start like taking each other seriously, and taking each other seriously, because like that's kind of the problem, really. Like on the outside, looking at it from the outside of it, it's like you just like saying what you want to say, and you keep giving each other reason to say more, and it's nothing's helping. It's not helpful. So that's what I had to say. Thank you and good night.